The ignited mind of the youth is the most powerful resource on the earth, above the earth and under the earth. Worthy Principal Ma'am, Mrs. Girija Baiju, Vice Principal Sir, Mr. Nandakumar Sir, and respective heads of the department, section supervisors, and my dearest members of the staff. A very warm good afternoon to everyone. Taking the legacy of having internal professional development sessions forward, today we have another round of professional development session presided by Dr. T.P. Shashikumar, a man mountain of knowledge. Dr. T.P. Shashikumar, a mix of a poet, philosopher and scientist. He was born in 1964 in Kannur district of Kerala. Dr. T.P. Shashikumar completed his education up to master's level in Kerala, obtained his MPhil in applied mathematics and PhD in fluid mechanics from Bangalore. He took LLB from Osmania University and MBA from HR and Knowledge Management from IGNOU and MS in Psychotherapy and Counseling. He has undergone various courses in computer-related subjects such as adaptive learning, e-learning, multimedia, and cyber law. For over 2 decades, he worked as a scientist with the Department of Space and has adorned the role of heading many prestigious institutes and offices. Such as, he was a former executive director of Srinarayana Guru College of Engineering and Technology, Payyanur, and Professor and HOD Business Administration, Aurora Engineering College, Hyderabad, consultant of project of Shobha Developers, Palakkad, Kerala, Deputy Director of Directorate General of Security, Cabinet Secretariat, Government of India, New Delhi, Director UGC, Academic Staff College, University of Calicut, Kerala, Scientist and Section Head, Map of Image Library Photo Lab, which is ADRIN, is in Secunderabad, and Scientist, Space Application Center, ISRO, Ahmedabad, and Scientist, Programming, Planning and Project Management, ISRO, Bangalore, and finally Research Scholar, UGC, DSA, Mathematics Department, Bangalore University, Bangalore. He founded Shiksha, an international institute for advanced academics, soft skill, and life learning. Shiksha's main purpose is to train youngsters to face the multi-dimensional challenges they face in modern world. He is also the founder and mentor of a unique concept of life wellness called Jnana. He has also written and published many technical papers which appear in a number of journals. He has also, to his credit, published books in his topic of education, spirituality, and philosophy, and a collection of poems titled Life of Love. He has represented India as a journalist in Oman Film Festival. He has also received awards from the President of India in 1988 and SPEC in 1993 for the best papers on technical issues, Walkme Award for the Best Public Speaker in Kerala from Tapasya, Distinguished Social Service Award from Akhil Bharatiya Malayali Sangh Bhilai. So, ladies and gentlemen, so we have such a distinguished personality among us today. So now I would like to call upon our worthy principal, Mrs. Girija Baiju, to felicitate our guest of the day, Dr. T.P. Shashikumar. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. I would now like to call upon Dr. T.P. Shashikumar to enlighten us with his words of wisdom. Good afternoon, teachers. Good afternoon, sir. After hearing or going through the profile of Dr. T.P. Shashikumar, we are eagerly waiting for the food that we are going to have this afternoon. So I think it's going to be an interactive section, and he was saying that
he will write in the visitor's book only after listening to the teachers of Bhavans. So I think the teachers will examine him with all your questions, and I'm sure he'll be able to direct you in the right way. So sir, welcome to Bhavans, and we wish to have a session where we can have a lot of our doubts clarified. And thank you for visiting Bhavans in spite of all your busy schedule. And when I was talking to him, he's not new to this part of the world. He has been traveling all over the world. And I'm sure we are lucky to have such a person to be in Bhavans, to give a session for the teachers of Bhavans. Welcome, sir. Thank you. Now I request the chief guest to take over. Thank you. One hand.
I will have to ask questions.
No, what do you do?
We'll start with the questions only. So who want to ask questions? Okay, you heard my introduction. Is there anybody who can? Yeah. Where are you from? Andhra Pradesh?
No, I'm from Palakkad. Yeah. No, I was totally amazed with the.
That is just because of a person who was my roommate during my PhD. A person from Palakkad was my roommate. He was an LLB student, so I was teaching him law. He was after +2, joined for law. If you are from Palakkad, center of the city, you will know Gauri Shankar.
Yeah.
Gauri Shankar's son, Anandakrishnan, was in my room. Gauri Shankar drove all the way from Palakkad to meet me and give this boy to me, saying that you must look after him. So I was looking after him. So I have to take care of him to teach law. So I taught law. Then I thought, why not a degree? So I taught CRPC, CPC, taught all the papers I taught him. Indian Constitution I taught him. And when I was teaching anyway, there were a lot of children. So everybody used to gather in my room. All the law students after my PhD. When I come back to home, in the room, I used to cook and feed him. He used to get rice because he is a very rich man. He used to have a lot of paddy field. Gauri Shankar is one of the, he is no more. And he was a great person. And he was one of the role models for me. I remember I went to him, he was, if you don't know Gauri Shankar, you must know him. He was disciple of one of the flying Swami who flown in the China-India and Pakistan-India border during war. Not that yesterday's Swami. Real Swami. And Gauri Shankar was paralytic. Only his above head was, the whole thing was paralyzed. And he was on wheelchair nearly 40 years. And he was one of the leading advocates. He used to appear in court. He has got a Maruti van. He travels only in that because that can take him inside that and lock. And once he reaches the court, somebody will lift him and put it onto the place. And no single case he failed so far. And he was advocate for 18 banks. Legal advisor. He was an authority. And I met him and he came and met me to put his son to me. But I went to him many times. So you go and talk to him on music, he will have something to say on that. I went and told him my PhD is in fluid mechanics. He started asking a lot of questions in fluid mechanics. So I saw one lawyer who knows fluid mechanics. Then I thought, why not a fluid mechanics man? Learn law, right? So I have seen wonderful people like that. So they're all the people who contributed. And another contribution from Palakkad is, as soon as I took my retirement, I went and settled in Palakkad in an old age home. And that's where PNC Menon entertained me for 1.5 years. He's from a small village from Palakkad, Vadakkancheri Panchayat. He's from Alappur. Then he asked me one question. The worst school in Kerala is from that place, Palakkad. Most of them are from the forest area. 85% of them don't even have breakfast. Nearly 60 to 70% of them don't have either of these parents, either mother or father. They must have divorced or died or something. something would have happened. And he asked me whether we can do something for him. He is running a school, that's a wonderful school. But that's not enough. He started the school in the international style, selecting few children. But that was only up to 4th grade when I went with him. So I asked him a question, if you want to see them great, you'll have to wait another 8 years. 12th grade is one minimum rating period, right? So I said, give me few children in 2 years, I'll show them great. So that's a challenge. He said, yeah, you do it. DrTPS idea. Anyway, money is there is somebody who says, implement your idea and then freedom is given. Sponsoring is done. So I selected 90 worst children, not the best. But all the teachers agree that my children will not reach anywhere in their life. They cannot be good. They will fail in 10th. The parent says my son is useless or daughter is useless. I said, give it to me. So we have got a lot of working days, as madam says, we have got 160, 200 working days here. 165 holidays. Beautiful. Kerala, it is very good because we have got a lot of the hartal. It's good for me. And I said, I will plan some session. I selected 90 children. So I will make a difference. Out of 350, 90 8th grade children were selected. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I teach different subjects. Hindi, English, Malayalam, biology, physics, maths, everything. Yeah? You tell me, ask me any question in your syllabus, I will tell that. That's my contract. So I used to teach all that subject to them and then change them. My last class was on January 26th. January 26th, there is a song to be sung. What is that? Yeah, what is that song? Vande Mataram. You sing Vande Mataram? Louder, yeah? I'm recording it. You will not come if you don't come and sing. That's what is important. Now, tell me, what are you seeing when you're singing? You see, when you see the visualization in the TV, you will see somebody with a flag. If that is done by a Kerala, you will see drum beating. It's all stupid. Because when you say, a person who writes, I'm a poet, when I write, I have some visualization in it. When you sing, that visualization is not transferred, it's real criminal. Vande Mataram, I must see Mata. And that Mata is Bharat Mata. Sujalam, I must see the Jalam, which is soup, the best water. I must see all the rivers. Gange, Jemune, Jeva, Godavari, Saraswati, Narmade, Sindhu, Kaveri, Jalesmin, Sannidhim, Guru. The whole rivers in India I must be able to see when I chant this. I'm sure none of you must have seen this when chanting. Subhalam. You must see apple in Kashmir. Hence must see jackfruit in Kerala. You must see orange in Maharashtra. You must see rambutan in Northeast. And if you don't see that, that's waste. Subhalam you will sing, but you will see the person who is standing in front of you when this fellow is going on. It's good. I got the comments so that come, there is vacancy here, another vacancy here. He reserved a seat for the come in. It becomes dense. There are two reasons. When I came, you saw you were sitting in different places. No teachers like a classroom with the vacant chairs in the front. And once you do that, the first character is shown, how you are. I just evaluate schools by seeing the way they sit. I must have taught more than 5 lakhs kids studied in Bharatya, in Hyderabad. Ramakrishna Mutt was running the Ramakrishna Vidyalaya. It's called Ramakrishna Vidyalaya Bhavans School. I don't know why it's called that. You are from Hyderabad?
I studied.
You are? Very good. Okay. St. Anne's was my first place where I conducted my camps, summer camp. I started summer camp after my retirement in 2010. St. Anne's was the venue given free. You can use any time. Sisters are really good. Sometimes fathers of Hinduism are not that good. Because they need to consult the committees, make meetings. There nothing is there. They commit without the committees. I came to Abu Dhabi 2 years back for an Orthodox church program. After the program, I had 56 children came to Kerala and to live with me on holidays. So I conduct a lot of programs in which, what do I do is I teach them like this. Visualize and learn. Learning is through visualization. Let that be maths, let that be geography, let that be English, let that be physics or chemistry. Visualize. That's what I do. So once you know how to visualize, any subject becomes equal for you. Don't have to distinguish. Everything is put into different compartments because right, a train needs a lot of compartments, right? To maintain it, that becomes easier. That's it. A student learns every subject up to 10th grade. If a student can learn up to 10th grade every subject, later you can learn every subject. The basic is kept given, right? So once you have a background, you can create a foreground in whichever field you want. So that's what I did. So I never, even today I got a mail from one of my students, 2000 mails. So 100, maybe this may be 2025. Right? Answers to answers. And that is data science, design thinking, computer science, extended field. Ask me a question, I'll answer. I'll answer because I know how to learn, how to teach. It's an only thing. I know how to make somebody to cycle. Not in one route, I teach how to cycle. So you put you on any route, you can cycle. All of you teach maths, physics, chemistry, biology, but none of you teach how to learn. So every time you have to rub on the same thing. And none of you are good students because none of you have started writing anything. If you are not a good student, your students cannot be good students. Every student has to have a pen and paper, keep writing. Every bit of information they must write. But you have taught your children, we were taught by our teachers. When you say write, write it. Otherwise keep writing. And what are they doing? They will see the beauty of the teacher. Henna is rose color, mala is very good. That's no. And keep dreaming, that's it. They're all wasting time. All your blah 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 make no sense to the mind. 80% of your vocabulary is generally waste. Let that be history or physics. They don't even understand what is gravity. I interview people who are from IITs. I ask them simple question to give them a teacher's job, or maybe a researcher's job, or a scientist's job. What do we ask them? Not the great knowledge, the basic knowledge. What is resistance? He must have studied in 7th grade, 8th grade. After that, he never studied because he assumes that he knows the resistance, right? Correct or not? Yes? But I did not ask them. How many of you are English teachers here? Yeah, what is resistance?
The endurance, it goes synonymously with endurance.
That's what I'm asking. But no physics teachers can answer like this. Resistance is an English word, yeah? Even if it comes in physics, it's an English word. How many physics teachers refer to dictionary to learn this? How many physics students refer to dictionary to learn this? Repeat it. All physics teachers.
It goes synonymously with endurance.
Because it's not, when you look at dictionary, it's not one word. Quarter page, good dictionaries. Read that quarter page. Ask your children to write down all the technical words from the subject. Refer dictionary, come and sit in your class. Let them prepare before coming to class. Then you speak, they will know the meaning. Got it? You speak about evolution, ecology, what not, yeah? Invasion. I'll tell you, 40% of your children who are sitting in the class don't understand the meaning of invasion. They presume it has some meaning. You understand what I'm saying? Do you think you have to make a difference in teaching? I'm sure I'm one of the buffaloes who comes and teach you how to teach and train. Because I heard in the introductions that we have series of teachers coming at us. I'm not that, among that. I make a difference. I make a difference because I'm a person who was not a good student in my childhood. The only reason what I do is I go and sit in classes. I get a chance, I go and sit in classes. When my children were learning in LKG, UKG, I go and talk to the teachers. I refer this most of the time because my younger son was in Bhavans and the drill teacher, assembly, when I asked her to come and sit here, you have to reluctant. This is in order. No, this is not in order. The last coming. Come. You don't like me, no chance. You can either get out or listen to me. One of the test paper. There are 3 chairs. 3 teachers can come. She is already reserved. Is she your enemy? You have any problem? There's one more. Yeah. That is social being. That is being human. No buffaloes will do this. Only human being can do this. Correct? Yeah, now this is in order. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plus this is 6, 11. This is not actually order, but it's okay. 11. So 11 into I can see how many teachers are there, and still there is a vacancy. I make sure generally in a classroom no vacant chairs in front of you, and put in order. Anything which is not in order, somebody goes and sits there. In Malayalam or Sanskrit, it is called a kramam. Which is not in kramam is called a akramam. And that person who sits is called a akramam. So I cannot tolerate akramam and akram is in my class. I'll tell you, when I went to one of the engineering colleges, I made children to sit like this, and that too not like this. Same line. Unfortunately, I was in police for 2 years. I was in Prime Minister's police. I was in RAW. So military intelligence and police. So all the people who are all the topmost brass of Army, Air Force, Navy and police was under me. I was deputy director there in Prime Minister's office. So when we keep chair, we want this to be, you have seen how military fellows are. One chair here in the record. Then now people started moving when I said I am police. Anyway, I cannot do anything here because you are in a different country, but this is recorded. When you come there and land in the airport, I can catch you. So I just put the chairs in order. And the photographer who used to take pictures in the institution for last 14 years was sitting and taking pictures like this. First time I am seeing sir in this order in this college. There was no order. See, I tell you, most important is this. Very, very simple. How many of your kg, L kilogram, U kilogram teachers? M kilogram is there here? No. Okay. I'll ask children how difficult it is to manage, we call it manage, generally I don't use the word manage, but 200 children. Give it to one of the kg teachers. Difficult? Listen. You want somebody to tell them keep quiet. Keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet. Go on shouting. They are seeing somebody is not keeping quiet. Understood? They look at you and then see. So my drill teacher in the once, my son's drill teacher, don't look here and there. Is anyway my son? So he started analyzing. Don't look here and there. Okay. Closed the eyes and stood. Assembly was over. Teacher had to say, "Come, get up." He went into sleep. I asked, "Papa, what should I do?" The sir says, "Don't look here and there." Next day, I went to the teacher and said, "Don't say what should not be done. Keep saying what should be done." A drill teacher should say, "Look straight." Right? What he means, don't look here and there. For him, look here and there. Correct? But for anybody else, look here and there also is possible, right? That means you should not look straight also. And then he said, "Sir, some people are looking backside." I said, "Grammar mistake. There is no backside. Side is side, back is back, front is front." First time, sir. In the school, no, all the teachers keep saying, "Don't look backside, don't look backside." You teach your children English by English teachers. All other mathematics teachers use wrong English. I am a mathematician, so generally I keep making fun of mathematics teachers. They don't understand. If you ask, "Where is your canteen?" in the denominator, where are you getting numerator? You lose all English. And one teacher teaches English, but they are seeing all samples who doesn't know English. And you say, why biology should learn English, no? And we had a math professor who says, "When I want to teach you English, I will teach separate. But when I teach maths, English will not come." Because his English was bad. I said, "Do you take, let us consider an example of a static car. You are saying A only, right? That you cannot replace English. In between, you cannot adjectives and all those. You have to. And don't say that, no, it's very difficult to learn. It's very simple to learn. Any subject, any language, it's very simple. Age 1, no children speaks their mother tongue. Age 3, they speak their mother tongue without a grammar mistake. So at the age of 1 to 3, at that age, 2 years is enough to learn a language. Correct? So at this age, how much time is required to learn a language? I may not retain it if I don't use it. That's a different matter. Correct? But you can learn if you want. Somebody asked me when I went to Delhi, I used to give temple precaution and all that. So when I went, I spoke in English because that's more fluent. I was not talking in Hindi. But then somebody was translating it, he made everything in his version. I said, "Baba, stop. Now I will do my job. Get out." He said, "Sir, you know Hindi?" "Yeah, you are cheating all this time now." Correct? Because he is a speaker, he wanted to put his knowledge inside that. And I said, "Don't make me a bakla. I know how to do my job. Get out." So if you don't know language, you know, and how much time it takes? Whatever Hindi I know, I will speak. I was teaching one of the communication and radio college, the FM, which runs an FM. Mass communication, post-graduation, graduation. I was teaching sometime in the part-time, Saturday, Sunday and all that. So he asked one of the best Hindi teacher how to learn Hindi. He said, "Keep a recorder. Go to a auto rickshaw and say, 'Badmash mujhe udhar leke jao.' Then he will tell you nice Hindi, record it, use it in another auto driver." So 3 auto drivers, if you start using, by evening you will learn how to learn Hindi. It's very simple, no? Learning. Yeah? That's very simple. Learning language is very simple. Learning subject is very simple. But what are we doing? You give questions, you give answers, and they have to write the same thing, same style. Any tape recorder can do this one. We are not making them creative. I'll tell you all the subjects which you learn, which you teach, the students learn in classroom, up to graduation. You have learned a lot of subjects in your life, right? How much is used to learn? 10%? This time I was in Kotak, CMS College, induction training program. 300, 400 children. 300 plus 200, 500 children. Zoology. So somebody asked, what is the purpose of learning zoology BS? I said, why did you join? Mother told me to join, so I joined. I said, wonderful, because mother don't know how to cut chicken in nice slice. They thought zoology learning, you can slice. At home, no, you can become a good housewife. No, fish and all equal size, nice slice. You will learn dissection. Other subjects you can't learn this, right? Mathematics teacher, they can't. See, what is the purpose of your learning? People think that the purpose of learning is to use that subject. It doesn't happen. Everybody cannot learn everything. So what you should do? Learn something so that you know how to learn subjects. I am doing PhD and I am getting Doctor of Philosophy. What is philosophy? You are not good. I want another English teacher who can answer this. Yeah. What's philosophy?
Philosophy is reason.
That is right.
It trains us to think nothing.
I want real meaning. Which language is derived from? Yeah, somebody said philo. Yeah, philos. Philos and Sophie together. Philos is love. That's blind love. Teenage love. Teenage love is blind love. They know how to hide. And they blindly love. If you lose your love, you may not divorce. You will marry somebody else. But teenage love, if they lose somebody, they will commit suicide. That's blind love. Passion. If they don't see them, heartbeat will happen. If you see them, only heartbeat will happen. If you see them, double heartbeat. If they go to somebody else, finished. The heart is gone. All this happens. That's blind love. That's philos. I have a poetry in which the philos to agape is my poetry. Eros is because you are wedded, you are holding somebody's hands. When you go for marriage, if you don't get your spouse, somebody will ask, why did you not bring her? Why did you not bring him? Okay, that is the reason you are holding him. It's a forced. You are saluting your principal, or that's because they are sitting in that ring. You may say, no, not good. But still you have to go there. Your students are standing in front of you like this because you are the teacher. Otherwise they don't have respect. But showing because they have to show is called a eros. Agape is the old age when you have no other choice, you need somebody to bend upon each other, and that's called the agape. So life is philos to agape. What we get is doctor of. What you said is really correct, but you have to go deeper inside. Philosophy. Sophie is knowledge. So love for knowledge is what a doctorating person gets. Yeah? Agape is, see, anything which you don't understand, Greek and Latin. That's why the word itself came Greek and Latin. Okay, these are all Latin. Eros is a satellite name. It's from Israel. So most of the technical terms which you see other than computer science. How many of you computer science? Yeah, computer science is the worst English. Kill the process, boot the system. Nowhere it is used because it's all developed by American. American English is one of the worst English. They're all hippie English. British has aristocratic English. So Greek, Latin, British, that English is. I'm not teaching English. Sorry. If I start, I will become an English teacher. Because after my BSc Mathematics, I became an English teacher. That was my first. And then I moved into commerce. I taught bookkeeping, accountancy, and all that was my passion. So, doctor of philosophy means I'm a doctor. Doctor who can do diagnosis, who can do pathology. And all teachers are doctors. All of you are doctors. Huh? All teachers are doctors because every doctor does a pathology to understand the problem of the patient. All teachers conduct examination to find the problems of children. But only difference between doctors and teachers are doctors treat them, make them 100% perfect, then only discharge. What you do is, if they are not good also, you will say it's not my problem, it's their problem. You will not treat them. But I don't do that. If somebody is bad and see that they become 100% good, then only discharge them. So a teacher's responsibility after test paper is not telling them you are not good. Your job is to every person person who wants to say the system is bad. I am the
I'm not
perfect.
telling the system is bad.
See, I tell you, there are a lot of thought process happened before creating a system. And the system is a very generic system. Each one of you have a freedom to teach. And it's your ability. Don't talk about system. I was in government. Government system is very bad. But in my government office, I gave music system to every people who are working under me. My director asked, not possible. I said, I know not possible. That's why I came to you. If possible, why should I come to you? Why should I come personally to explain to you? He said, not possible. I said, tell me, you cannot do it. I will see whether it can be done. You have got somebody above you, right? And go to them. You're right, it's not possible. And see that it is done. And I gave music system. To everybody I gave music system. I said, I wanted to check whether that develops change in them. I remember when I was a scientist, there was no vanishing blinds, only window curtain with clothes. And government says, curtain cloth, this cost only can be done. I said, I am not going to buy curtain cloth. I want the aluminium. Tilt it. In my room it is not that. That's your fate. I am not going. I want. And government doesn't permit. Who says? Who is government? I and you is government. Somewhere we have to make a difference. Rules are for fools. Follow it to show. Once you're inside class, how to teach, nobody is going to tell you what to teach and how to teach. Your ultimate product has to be good, correct or not? Yes? You decide how to do that. 100% you have to follow the system. Syllabus is there, you have to say syllabus. But who stops you when you are a mathematics teacher? Who stops you to speak something about the syllabus subject? Won't you say that you have to learn physics from your textbook, learn and then come and sit? Most of your children don't have concentration in the classroom. I am a psychotherapist. Most of the children, most of the people come to me saying that, sir, I am not able to concentrate. I said, wonderful, your brain is working. That is why it goes into different places. You know what I mean? See, some people are not happy when I ask them to come and ask you to sit to the front. They say, I needed to disturb me, I wanted to get out of that place, I want to sleep. And somebody else is sitting there, she is tilting like this and then saying, why sir did not call me, only this lady? I should have been called. She also lost concentration, you also lost concentration. So you decide in between who want to shift to the chairs, you can shift now. And she felt unnecessarily sat here. I should have sat somewhere in the back. Because she is terribly paining the back, because I am traveling, she is looking like this. Correct? It's not problem. See, it is not where you sit, your attitude matters. It is not how do you learn and what to teach. It's all your attitude. You want to set your attitude perfect, anything becomes acceptable. So all these are the framework. You are asked to draw a flower. Art teachers here? Oh, yeah, art teachers. When somebody is asked to draw a flower, you draw only flower only? Don't you draw one leaf? Yeah, that's freedom is in you. You understood? You are asked to draw a picture of a tree. You draw a picture of a tree. No, go to the thing. A picture of a tree. But the tree, whether you want the tree to be happy or sad, you can make it. I draw a sad tree. I draw a teach drawing. So it's me to decide what my innovation has to be put inside. That's your liberty. So there is a system which says you have to draw the picture of a tree. They also may tell you that this is the size of the picture. It's all do it. You can put a lot of creativity inside. Correct? I had wonderful teachers. That's my gift. My only gift is a lot of good teachers in my life. I remember I had a science teacher who used to teach. He was a biology BSc, but he used to teach physics. And he used to get lenses. Those days it's all permitted. In the village he used to smoke. The teacher used to smoke. He takes the cigarette and put. And now you tell that I will also teach physics if I am allowed to smoke. Don't tell that. He puts the his lens, and then tell you, after some time, yeah, this is the focus. Focal. We never forgot it. And what you do, you come to classroom and then draw this and then draw this and then say, yeah, this is the distance in the cigarette was here, lens was here, this is the focal. This is how it converges. A great knowledge. It's a class. It's a class. That's why I don't forget my basic science. That's why I don't forget my basic maths. And if you have these subjects, anything else is simple for you. We know how to teach. So that's it. So analyze, interpret. Okay. So I answered one question, guys. Now you know how do I remember a lot of, right? So what is given by degree is not mathematics, PhD. Love, knowledge. And every knowledge is connected. Knowledge is connected. There is no maths, physics, chemistry in knowledge. There is no separation. That has been created for people to put into different, it's all part of a same train. Compartments are created so that people know where you can put it for some time. But don't tell that I am not part of the system. You are part of the system. Yeah. Next. Enough? Ask if you don't ask. I was told that you ask a lot of questions.
So just tell our teachers how to keep children to learn.
I told you, this is the method. Visualize. Visualize. You have solitary reaper. So when I teach solitary reaper, I used to teach. Solitary reaper, I am Wordsworth. It's not somebody wrote a poem and then I am teaching. I am Wordsworth. And there is a solitary reaper. Solitary is alone. Single in the field. Each line by line it is written. Single in the field. Yawn, solitary, Helen does. Singing and reaping. Now you are able to see, right? Are you seeing, visualizing? I am sure most of you must have learned this but not visualized. Behold her. Don't come. Nobody should come to this area. Why? Because if you come, she will stop. I am enjoying as a poet. And I allow all of you to enjoy. Don't come and then disturb. Yawn, solitary, and then pass. And if you know a little bit, when I was teaching, I was in Kerala. Perariyathuru penkidave ninte nerariyunnu njan paadunnu. It's written by ONV. So whether ONV has taken birth or Wordsworth has taken birth early, I don't know. That you must know. So who has taken whose idea, you must know. Right? So once you tell this much, people are eager. Yeah, I must read ONV's thought. I must also read solitary reaper. Now you feel like listening, right? Understand? So first a teacher should get the attention of children. Nanny's principle, 9 principles are there in teaching. First thing, get the attention. Second one, learn and come back. Prepare a full lesson before coming back. When you go for a movie, you prepare. Don't you do this? Yes. You know which movie you are going. Who are the actors? Review you read. Plot you know. Music you know. Everything you know before going to the movie. But in the class, blind. Once you prepare and come to the class, what you should do? Don't start giving knowledge. Get knowledge from it. Ask them. See, when you come for Dr. T.P. Shashikumar's class, you should have come prepared. You know that there is somebody coming there, you must get full details. There are schools where I made the principal's job also lost. In front of the committee, I banged the principal left, right once. Because I went to Ishwarana Viganda. Don't think that Ishwaran will come and he will support only people who have got Udyamam, Sahasam, Dhairyam, Buddhi, Shakti, Parakramam, Shadhede, Yatra Vartande, Devam Tatra Prakashayati. God will survive. Come to only people who have got Udyamam, planning. Planning is not enough. Sahasam, Dhairyam, Buddhi, Shakti, Parakramam. These qualities are Shadhede, Yatra Vartande. Wherever these 6 qualities are there, there only God will come. I learned Tatra Shastra, so I can call God. Come and sit here means he will sit there. AuH. AuH is that only. We invite God and ask them to sit there. So who is powerful? Pujari is more powerful than gods. That's what Bharatiya Shastram says. So, don't. What you should do is make your children to read, learn everything, come and sit in the class, keep asking questions. They can also understand English. Right? Botany, how many of you are teaching 11th grade botany? Yeah. Mango.
Algebra Indica.
Coconut.
Focus music.
And then I tell you, it's very difficult. Most of the 11th grade children have problem in learning this. You ask them tomorrow onwards, I am going to teach you botany. All of you should learn. Don't worry, 100 is not required. 20 and then come. If you have learned 20, you have learned 20, you have learned 20. Share it together, learn half an hour, all of them will learn 100 techniques. Their brain is too good, but you are not directing them. You take a lot of pain in learning all this, but they are relaxing and learning. I will learn an exam. No, make them to learn. Many children come to me and say that I am not able to learn by heart. I said nothing doing. 20 minutes, 100 and then come to me. Countries and capitals, 100. Give me 20 minutes. The worst children, I will teach them 100 countries and capitals. Very simple, yeah? We are not putting effort. What we do is we take a lot of effort. Ask them to do this. And they have a lot of caliber. They are free. And the worst part is, I don't know, here also there may be teachers who are tuition centers learning talent. Not that? Wonderful. Great. God save you. Not allowed. Yeah, that's a point. But how many of your children are going to tuition centers in different places? Your children go to tuition centers in different places, right? I tell you, the worst crime which you can do to any teachers in this world is sending children for tuitions. Assume that I am teaching mathematics and my student goes to some other place for learning maths. It's shame. Correct? Assume that you feed your children at home, immediately they will go to a hotel and eat. How do you feel? Huh? If they know that they are going to eat in a hotel, do they eat properly at home? And they half eat here and then go in a hotel, do they feel really hungry? Do they find taste there? That's a pity situation in tuition centers. And I am deadly against tuition centers. If I can get some chance, I keep telling that a fellow becomes tuition teacher because they don't get any other job. If they get any other job, they will become. You see in Kerala and most of the places you go to Kota, Rajasthan, everywhere, Hyderabad, many people teach for IIT coaching centers, bank coaching centers. I keep saying, you attend a bank coaching for 7 years, if you don't get a bank job, you don't get, you fail in everywhere, you start a coaching center. So who is the teacher? Teacher is a failure. Don't you have to realize this? Educate your children telling them, no, you have only one chance to listen to me, with that you must learn. No repetition. Attention. If no attention, retention will happen. If that is not there, that is why people take it very light. Earlier in our childhood, what was happening? 7th grade to 8th grade, 3rd class to 4th grade, 5th grade to 6th grade, we have a problem, we don't pass. Everybody doesn't pass. Today now everybody passes up to 10th grade, and after 10th they will pass. First attempt they will not pass, second attempt definitely say exam is there, everybody passes. That's a reason. That's a problem. So my children, 8th grade children, I took them, they are from Malayalam medium. I picked up the worst one, I asked them, you are asking the question, how to teach? They were from Malayalam medium, they can't speak one single sentence in English. I said them, PNC Menon's money, Dr. Shashkumar's idea. I said, come, we'll go to Goa. The best place to learn English is Goa. Because Kerala people doesn't speak good English. They're Manglish only. So I took them to Goa, sent them to the beach, go and catch some foreigner. Only with algebra, geometry, a lot of people are there. Go and find the algebra, somebody in geometry, right? 20 centimeters, poorest fellows in the world. The whole rest of the 20 centimeters. Go and tell them we are also poor people from Palakkad, but still we dress properly. Introduce yourself. Tell that I am Gayatri from Palakkad. What's your name? 20 questions. And rest of the questions you can make your own creativity. Learn their geography, not their geography. You know, one of the teachers, while giving social science teacher, did a big mistake. Draw the picture of Akbar and then So I told them, you must go and ask questions. So somebody asked, what's your name? Elizabeth. Spelling please. Because evening they have to come and report to me, no? Correct? Where are you from? Czech. Spelling. Even if they say Czech, country, place name, city, country. Okay. Capital of Czech, currency of Czech. What are they doing? 100 children got knowledge, right? Sit together, share knowledge. One day, they know the whole world geography, world history. And 3 days after that in the beach, they got a hour. I can ask any question to anyone in the world. I remember I took a IIT professor who is a structural engineer. Structural engineering is when I make structure, how many pillars are required, what is the construction. They are experts. One person came from Delhi and then I said, speak to my children. He said, what do I speak to them? Yeah, 7th, 8th grade children. I said, go and sit there, my children, you will see differently. So, what's your name? Each one has to ask 90 children. Finished. He said, wow. I'm seeing first time children. But I'll tell you, when I speak to most of the best schools, no questions. To ask question, you need a quest. The root word for question is quest. The quest for knowledge, that is not there. And if somebody thinks that, no, yeah, I know everything, very difficult. If an English teacher says, who is this fellow who is going to teach me? I think you should realize there is something to learn. And when a math teacher speaks English, PhD in mathematics, when I speak English, you know, 12 tenses, somebody, I don't know. Somebody, some other English teacher. What is it? Yeah, 12 tenses. Yeah, tell all that support. Simple present, present continuous, present perfect, present perfect continuous. So give a verb and then tell me all the 12 tenses. For example, take. I take, I am taking, I have taken, I have been taking, I took, I was taking, I have taken, I have been taking, I shall take, I shall be taking, I shall have taken, I shall have been taking. You understood? If a teacher can speak like this, I am sure 100% tomorrow the students will think, yeah, let me try something and I will come and learn all this. And give a chance for them to present. Tomorrow you will get a chance to present. I am sure all of them will come learn. That's it. That's why you should motivate them to learn. How to motivate them? Seeing you, they should feel, oh, I should also become like you. That is what is called Acharya. Yajjana jarati shrestha tatta devete rochana sayat pramanam gurudeye lokasta darvartade. Seeing them, somebody wanted to follow him. And that's what an Acharya is. And you have to be an Acharya. Whoever is practicing is called an Acharya. So you have to practice. Don't say that you learn, and you don't learn. That should not happen. So be a model. And if you want further, I have got 64 blogs. One of the blog is enjoy, study, exam. You can study, enjoy exams. Very simple. I want exam. They will come and tell you, I want exam. Please test it. That should be the way. How to test it? Don't test the end of the year, every day. Soon after the class is over, you are going tomorrow again to the same class? Yeah. Who want to tell me? What did you learn yesterday? Very simple. Somebody will raise hand. And no time somebody is raising hand, you must go to them and ask. And who can tell only one point at a time? Nobody should repeat it. And you know how do they sit? The end of the class also. Tell me what did I teach you? I am going to do this in the class after some time. It's a practical class. I'll ask you. For the last 1 hour, what did I tell you? Tell me one point. If you don't tell, India I can do something, but here I can't. Make your backbone straight. No curves there. Give. Then I see you. Nobody will see you. You will be in ICU. And you have to be very attentive. And if you are attentive, very simple. You want to finish syllabus? Want to finish syllabus? I keep asking, what do you do? I take mathematics. I handle mathematics. Why take and handle? Why can't you give something? Right? The word itself is like that. Very simple. Teaching is very simple because classrooms should not be teaching classrooms. It should be learning classrooms. It's not your class, it's their class. Classroom is there because students are there. And all teachers are servants of students. We are serving. To whom? To them. We are serving. Correct or not? So you are a servant. To my children, I am a servant. And they hug me. They love me so much. They don't call me, I don't like sir. The word sir itself is a useless word. I keep saying, yes, you can call me sir only when I get a title. Sir C.V. Raman. Sir Isaac Newton. If I get it, you can call me sir. Otherwise, don't. See, that's not passion. It's like most of them loves me so much if they have met me once in their life. Because I give them, make a difference in their life. So what are we doing? What's the difference between a station master and a school master? Heard this sometime? I'm sure you know. The thing is good. Very good. I can tell everything. A station master minds the trains, and a school master trains the minds. It's not maths, physics, chemistry. You are training the mind, and you have a great responsibility of training the mind. Be a good teacher. That's what. So there are different methods of teaching. All that cannot be taught. But if some spark somewhere, yeah, I have to be different. And my children should remember. That should be your first attempt. What do you give? You give them a different experience of learning in your classroom. Everyone should become a marketing personnel for their subject. If I am teaching English, I must tell nothing like English in this world. Next class, if I am going mathematics, I will say, oh, mathematics is the most wonderful. Then they will say, yeah, English teacher also told the same thing. I said, English is full of mathematics, yeah. Don't agree? Any word in this world in English, I will tell what is mathematics itself. Nobody could escape. Every word is mathematics. Somebody says history is very good, sir. History is full of mathematics. You have a timeline. 0 here, BC here, AD here, BC, AD. And you put BC in between AD, it becomes ABC. And if you know ABCD, you know whole history. Right? Hang everybody. And take Shankaracharya, put him here. 1193 years back. And put 3200 BC. Yeah. Mohanjodaro Harappa. 3248, November 22nd, Mahabharata War. Gita was wrote. Write down every line like this. Yeah, it's all hanging in front of you. It becomes a graph. Geograph. That's geography. Geography is mathematics. History is mathematics. Economics is full of mathematics. Which subject is not? Physics, full of mathematics. Chemistry, your whole graph, the bone, how many elements are in the last orbit will decide where it can. Correct? How many number? So it's all equations. H2 plus O, it's all equations. Right? Very simple. Once I know one subject, everything becomes. There is a proverb in English: Jack of all trades, master of wrong. I have a book which is coming. life reflections. I am going to do all the old proverbs as old. It's all have a new version. Jack of all trades, master of one. You be master of one. After that, you can relate everything around it. But you must be able to become master of one subject. That's it. Then the rest of the things you can branch out. A lot of old proverbs, which is not. Yeah, next question. So, did I answer? So, what is to be done? Ask your children to prepare, and practically I will show you how to do this after some time. Yeah, maybe another 5 minutes I'll speak, then I will do the real practical class. Everybody else. No questions? Yeah.
Children always had a trouble, and I had trouble as a child, to learn the multiplication table.
Very simple. Very simple.
How do we visualize?
You don't have to learn multiplication table, because when our childhood we were asked to learn up to 20, not to 12. 9 nines are 81 is 10 10 100 is right? Then the rest of the things which is as a maths, which grade you teach?
Right now I'm dealing with grade 1 and 2.
Somebody from higher grade, but you must have done graduation now. 32 into 28. No, you don't get 32 into 28. Who gives me answer first? And 28 can never have an odd number, because see the basic logic. Yeah, how did you get it? That's great. A minus B into A plus B is equal to A square minus B square. All of you have learned this. A minus B into A plus B is equal to 30 minus 2 into 30 plus 2, 30 square minus 2 square, 90 and 900 minus 4, 896. You must learn every formula which you learn in maths is to use. But you learn formula, and then if they ask you where to use it, learn. That's it. If you have more questions, come to staff room, I will show you. Finished. I think everything has got a logic. Without logic, you start teaching, very difficult. Got it? Very simple. And basic mathematics, we have got Indian Vedic mathematics. Very simple. You draw 2 lines here, another 3 lines here, count the number of nodes. Yes. That's what I'm saying. There are different levels. The same word resistance, when you learn in the younger class to higher class, there is a difference. In younger class, you learn tingle, tingle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Veda Masha, which is language? Malayalam. Unna tingle, tingle,
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Minnum, minnum, താരകമേ. പിന്നെ
How I wonder.
എന്ത് അത്ഭുതമാണ് ഈ ദൃശ്യം.
Up above the world.
മീതെ മീതെ മാനത്ത്.
Like a diamond.
വൈഡൂര്യമ്പോ മിന്നും. See, when you teach in the young age, probably you will learn by heart. What do? Learn by heart. When you get into higher classes, learn by heart. You understand the difference? In childhood, you learn by heart, but when you grow into higher classes, learn by heart. I learned London Bridge is falling down, but in the 8th grade, I started asking, why is it not fallen down? Why is it still falling down? I have heard this. Luckily, I never had kilogram classes. No kg. Right? We have directly grade 1. I am sure most of you must have been in the villages. No, it's only grade 1. No kg. That's one of the best things. But ask questions, no? Anybody ask questions? I tell you, most of the children, when the teachers also don't know Humpty Dumpty Sat on a Is it 2 people or 1 people? Humpty and Dumpty or Humpty Dumpty? One person. What is the real name? You have a problem, right? I'm asking, did you ask questions to you sometimes? Really tell me, sincerely tell me, how many of you ask questions like this to yourself? If you don't ask, only there is one human being is the only animal who can ask questions. And if you don't ask questions, you are no, I am not calling you. You can decide which animal option you have. Your option is yours. Manushya Rupena Mrugascharanti. Manushya Rupena Mrugascharanti. There is a Mrugam going like a human being. Manushya Rupena Mrugascharanti. That's what. All of you raise your hands. Take it on your head. Bhagavani, this Janmam has gone. I'm going to improve. If this thought comes to you, I'm sure you have awakened. I'm a meditation master from Himalayas. Awakening comes only when you think that there is something more to learn in your life. The awakening should come. First you must think, yeah, I know. If you know, I know, then finish it. That's why people at age 60 also goes for 1,000 rupees breathing practice. One knows 1,000, another knows 1,000. One to 1,500. Package one. And the Swami makes a lot of marketing strategy. He makes a lot of change market. Okay? You know, I have learned that the law of health. Anyone of you have read Mahatma Gandhi's book on law of health? Shame. Because it's Managing Java publication. Anybody have read Gandhi has written a book on Bhagavad Gita, Gita my mother. That's also Bhavan's publication. You are in Bhavan's, I am not in Bhavan's, but I read a lot of Bhavan's books. Gita my mother. My introduction to Bhagavad Gita is that book. Bhagavad Gita is the mother of Mahatma Gandhi. We call him father of the nation. The nation is my boy. The nation's father is Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi's mother is Gita. Why? Because whenever somebody feels upset, you go and sleep on some other's lap. Whenever Mahatma Gandhi was upset, he used to go and sit on Bhagavad Gita, and he got a lot of solutions. And the mother will say, my mother also told me, I lost my father when I was 4 years old. So mother's lap was my place. Whenever I do some mischief, immediately go and sleep on my mother's lap. My mother will go keep the hands like this and say, Beta, he says in Malayalam, the meaning is, you will become very good tomorrow. It means a lot. You will become very good tomorrow means today you are not good. That's an indirect method. I never understood the meaning, but now I understand what she means. There is a chance for improvement. She never said I am useless. But many people call you are useless. I keep saying, everybody can write, I am useless. Right? Right? I am useless but useless. It's a past tense. From now onwards, you decide that I am going to use me. You can change. And that change is what you have to bring in your children. I was thrown out of a school from 8th grade, being the worst student. 27 students, 27th rank, no competition, every time I retained it. The end principal gave a cover letter, I thought some love letter. I opened it, I saw transfer certificate, get out of the school. Last year I was there as a chief guest to give merit certificate to all the best students. After distributing, the present management teachers never know that I am out of it. So I said, see the fate of these children. Yeah? Merit certificate from a thrown out boy. So I'll tell you why I am saying this. You must look at each children. There is a prospective good children. Don't tell them they are useless. I don't tell anybody you are useless. I keep saying you are good. But me it's not of triggering. That's it. Little direction. That's what is mentoring. That's what I do. I am a life mentor, not a teacher. I tell them that there is a lot of things which you can do in your life. and I make them to reach to the civil service examination. So I take them to the highest. A lot of children who are not normal colleges, but they are reached into the highest. Just because we are able to capture something, they are ready, they have an attitude. Performance P is equal to attitude plus skill plus opportunity. Get nice opportunity, good skill development if you have attitude. If you can utilize attitude, done. You will hunt for opportunities and you will also get your skills better. So every student has got same opportunity. Continuously you keep on repeating. Why somebody is learning, why somebody is not learning? The attitude is not perfect. So where you have to hit the attitude. Then they will start learning. They will come into pipeline. Become learning. It's very simple, but you need a lot of. That's why you learn educational psychology. But educational psychology is only one paper. Where you are not taught by real psychologists. They are not practitioners. They also learned it for getting exam marks. Keep copying it, it becomes like that. I'll tell you a small thing. KG, you have got copywriting. Right? All of you, what do? You have got something written on top. They will copy here. Stop. Ask them to copy from here. Handwriting in low and is done. Otherwise, what do? They copy from top, next line. Next line when they write, they are seeing what they have written earlier. Grantham, Mood, Pagathidil, Muhurtam, Mutramayam. Convergence, divergence, one mistake is there, they repeat it. You will see all the copywriting, one mistake, everywhere the mistake, right? Small change. What should be done? Don't write from top to bottom, bottom to top. That's Shashima. Very simple. And you want them to write good letters? See, draw lines like this. You will not see. Beautiful. Handwriting will be okay. So there are children who are thrown out of botany classrooms, BSc, saying that your handwriting is not good. Come to me one day. Handwriting is done. And those children get the best handwriting award in the college. Just few samples, it's very simple. Trick. What is life? Not hard work, smart work. You have to be smart. I'm smart. You have to be smart enough that you can teach, you can learn as a teacher, as a student. Don't work hard. Enjoy learning, enjoy teaching. Life is live in full enjoyment. Learn in full enjoyment. When learning, you have an elbow. Remove your learning. Tell them learning is an investment for future learning. Your knowledge, don't have to worry, things will come to you. So learn. No substitute for learning in life. Otherwise, after getting married also, the husband will tell the wife, your certificate but no knowledge. Right? There are good teachers and bad teachers. Everybody will agree. Everybody got same degree, maybe more marks or less marks. But who becomes a good teacher? Who touches the heart of people. You must have heard a lot of classes, but can you forget Dr. TPS class? If you have little buddhi, you cannot. If you have little heart space, give us. The other day, I was in ISC, Indian Social Club for the camp. So we had a dance teacher. So she is Deepika. It so happened the word is very small. So when she spoke to me, Deepika's sister Deepa happens to be my tenant in my hometown. Very small. We never thought. So I was sitting in the car, somebody was dropping me and dropping Deepika in the same vehicle, and I was sitting in the front. And she was back. So she asked me, do you have sufficient space? I said, I'm from space department. Yeah, you are asking me, do I have space? I'm from space department. So what should I have? Space. Sir, that's not what I mean. Okay, then forget about technology. Let us come to mythology. Kham means space. Kham means space. Sukham, dukham. Good space, bad space. All sukham and dukham is the state of mind. So when you are asking space, are you asking, do you have mind? Yes, I have great heart. Lot of space. How many people you can keep in your heart? As many as you want, right? One of my poetry is open heart surgery. Don't open my heart, because doctor will see a lot of secrets inside. You understood? So when you look at each word by word, how much knowledge you can. I'm sure the teacher would have been gone to different places, a lot of people in the world, but I'm sure she will never forget Dr. TPS. It's only one travel, 10 minutes in a cab. Got it? That 10 minutes I teach something there. Because what I can do in my life is only teaching. And that is given by somebody who are my gurus, who taught me a lot of things. And in my life, I have to teach this. Because I've been given with a lot of knowledge from somebody. If I don't give it to somebody else, it's a big cry. Big cry for my gurus. Right? I've been blessed with a lot of people sitting in their class, learning. Yashpal, Narlekar. You name the best scientist, you are now. Most of the best scientist classes I used to sit in. Kalam and all used to stay in same guest house. Kalam's editor happens to be my student. We contribute each other. We were in the same India 2020 committees. So when we have a lot of such interaction, what are we going to do with this? A day I will also be put on the fire. Okay, which firewood is used depends on my last day status. Anyway, sandalwood is not there. Maybe one bit will be there, don't worry. But when my son fires me, he asks a question, Vayu Dallavavadavadedam Basmandam Sharidam Om Kritos Marakritam Smarami. Papa, I am going to fire you, because every father fires the children. So they get the last chance to fire back. Vayu Dallavavadavadedam Basmandam Sharidam Kritos Mara. Think what is that you have done in your life. I can tell now, I have gone to Abu Dhabi Bhavan's school and gave lectures. There are a lot of teachers who are my students, which was not normally possible by everybody. Correct or not? So what I have done in my life, I am ready to die because I have done whatever I can do in my life. No desire to go further. But until last death we have to live. How to live? Live like a fire. Nimisham Jolidam Sreyam Nadudhumayitam Chiram. Nimisham Jolidam Sreyam. Don't become a smoke, be a fire. You have knowledge inside, you have fire inside, you have desire inside, you have love inside. What is the point in saying I love my husband and you are never shown it? One day he will die and say that, oh, he has died, I would have shown some love. What's the purpose? You have to say, you have to show. What we don't do is we don't show what is to be shown. The gratitude is never shown. We waste our time. Most of the time the life is waste. How is your life? I said, don't go like this. Ippadiye pogaradhu. Hogta ide, nadita ide. Any Kannadigas? Yeah, Kannada baratte nange hodirodu Bangalore. Nadita ide. Why do you want to go like this? Jaragutta ide, Telugu. Only I have seen Bangla. Maja meche. Gujarati, Balu Ache Bangla. But all these narrow people in the, as like a geography of India, goes on reducing the happiness. Be happy, yeah. You have to be happy. Then you can provide happiness, you can give happiness. Anything which you do with happiness. So to speak. Okay, close your eyes. Think about all the points which I spoke to you. One point is enough. Don't have to think too much. Very simple. Yeah, stop. Hold your fingers like this. Take a deep breath. Oh, ribs have to be touched. Please one second. Because more than that. Okay. So tell me, what did you learn? Only one point. Don't repeat. No others can repeat the same point. Tell me, who wants to tell me? Yeah.
Who's student who has difficulty in visualizing, like special education student?
We will have a special class for that. I did a project, I'll tell you. It's very simple. Visually handicapped. All such people have got special classes. Very simple. When you want to learn social science, but don't tell them this is border of India. Give them a map, ask them to touch. I did such projects. I make special maps for them. I've got a lot of things also for them. There are questions, I will show you what is it. So what is to be done is I made an India map. Ask them to draw without showing India map. After that, showing India map. After that, making every state wise. If there is Kerala, I will put a lot of coconut scrubs there, and then ask them to feel. They can feel.
No, it's not vision.
Different one. I'm giving one example. Every program we cannot start. No, I'm saying there are a lot of methods. One of the most difficult people who can visualize is blind people. They don't even understand 1 feet and 1 kilometer distance difference. How do you make them visualize? You have to take them. This is 1 feet. This is 1 meter. From here to this top is 1 meter. Exactly 1 meter. When somebody gives that, measure with it. So not you, for me. You have to measure yourself and find out. Everybody cannot have same size.
No hard work, smart work. Say the following.
I've got a lot of, during my workshop, I show them practically.
To start learning process, create the interest.
Creative.
Unused less.
Discipline is the most important thing in our life.
Yeah, but after that, something should be there.
Attack the attitude.
Rules are for the fools. So be innovative. In class.
Don't take it. Yeah. Love knowledge, philosophy. Yeah. It's also called Darshana Shastra. What he said was correct. And Darshana Shastra means what Krishna had. Sudarshanam. Sudarshanam is Darshana Shastra.
Just before I mention what I want to quote from your class, it's just that all of us are so excited with your class that we want to finish off whatever point we remember. So just we were discussing the same thing. So performance is skill plus attitude plus opportunity.
So, again, one more small clue. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you, if I ask you please to define yourself in 2 words or 3 words, how do you define yourself?
3 words. I am one who loves me. Morning I will see my mirror and say, it's so great here.
Okay, I can define you in 3 words. When I came for the class, I thought it's going to be a 2-hour class, but I can define you as learning beyond time. Because I didn't know it was 3. I just looked at the watch and saw it.
I had sessions 48 hours. I tell you, when your Uttar Pradesh works, Madhya Pradesh doesn't work. So when I conduct camps for 2 days, people ask me, sir, should I get a bed sheet, changing dress? I said, nothing required. If you sleep only, you need a pillow and bed sheet. And if you sleep only, tomorrow morning you have to take bath and get ready and all that. So it's continuously 48 hours. And I had truly 48-hour sessions. No break. And I don't break. Only have accelerator. And I'm never tired. 60 kilogram for last 25 to 30 years. No 59, no 61. You weigh me, if there is a change the weighing machine. That needs to be calibrated. No disease. No cough, no cold, no stomach pain, no headache, nothing in my life. Secret is Sharira Manaso Yoga Paraspara Manubraje Adhara Adeya Bhavena Taptajya Kadayoriva. The body and the manas is so related. If you are happy inside, whatever you do, find happiness in what you do. And body can never be disturbed. And I am driven by, not by taste, but by belly. I eat. We had lunch. She thought I will have full lunch. I took 1/3. That's it. Mitam Muktva, Shatam Jatva, Padashatam Shanai, Mama Bhagya Shainasya, Bishop Gim Prayojan. I go to doctors to teach them. I go to many medical colleges. Must have gone to many 30-35 medical colleges. Oman, all the best doctors are my students. The other day I was in this hotel, your hospital, Ahalya hospital I was there. Immediately the assistant general manager, Dr. Bipin Bose, came to me to meet me nice. Because somebody said there is somebody who came here, you must go and meet him. So I teach. What do I teach? How to be healthy. You have to be healthy, you have to be happy. First you have to be happy. When you are happy, you can spread happiness. Everybody is worried. I don't know why you worry. I'm in a big problem. I'm in a big problem. Is there any problem bigger than you? Can you be inside a problem? I am in a problem. That means I am inside a problem. When you look around, you will see only problems. English is a very bad language. Don't tell I am in a problem. Tell problem is in me. If problem is in you, simple solution. Drink a lot of water, go to washroom, flush it. No problem. Problem is gone. Drink water. That's it. Not the other water. Abu Dhabi is very famous. Not the other one. Once I told one place, Acharya Padamadate, Padam Shishya Somedeya, Padam Sabrahmacharya, Padam Kalakramenacha. 1/4 knowledge from the Acharya, 1/4 by Shishya, 1/4 by friends, and 1/4 after some time. By mistake in Kerala, what it is 1/4 the quarter from Acharya. Nice quarter from Acharya. The quarter by self. I was not knowing it. Unfortunately, the word came. I was very serious, but children would, nice Acharya, he gives 1/4 for it. After that, you can stand another last thing. Enjoy. Because life has to be enjoyed, but not temporary enjoyment. A lot of people temporary enjoyment, that's why 20 years in jail now. 10 plus 10. Right? See, there is nothing which stops you when you have itching, you have to scratch. There is an itching, you have to scratch. Right? Every desire is unstoppable. But don't scratch so much that becomes later a wound, Don't do anything which makes you to feel, oh, I should not have done it. That's it. That's a problem with the people. There is no point in saying that, I have lived. No. You have to live in such a fashion that you have to live until your last breath. Right? Ask the elderly people what do they want. I teach elderly people. What do I teach them? How to die peacefully. Marana Kala. How to die peacefully. Anda Kaleja Manasis Parade. Last moment what you do is more important for you. You have to have a peaceful death. For that you need a lot of preparation. So living is very simple. Many people live. But living peacefully at the last end is what you have to learn. So how do you teach? One more example. I will tell my telephone number only once. Don't write. So far you are not writing. All of your hands up. Hands like this. 10 numbers is my telephone number, right? Show your hands. Fingers up. 10 fingers. 10 fingers. Right? I am going to tell my 10 numbers only once. In between random, I will come and ask. You will have to tell me. Ready? I will tell only once. The first 3 numbers I will tell. Don't make a noise, repeat internally. Another 2 numbers I will tell. So 5 numbers you can repeat. Only I will give chance for repeating once. Next 2, 7 numbers. Then last 3, 10 numbers. Ready? Yeah. 944. 74. 37. 94. Now tell your neighbor. Okay, tell me what's my number? 944 74 37 948. Now you learned how simple it is to learn. Only once I told. You generally think if somebody tells the number once, it is not enough. Why? 944 74 37 948 if you tell like this, it's not enough. In the classroom, finishing syllabus is like this. Don't finish syllabus. Slow. Allow them to repeat. Acharya Padamadate. Padam Shishya Samedaya. Padam is a Brahmachari Bhya. What is Brahmachari? You have a beard? Most of you are beard? Brahmachari is Bachelor of. You are all Bachelor of Education. B.A. Bachelor. Brahmachari. Brahmam Charikya. Charikya means movia. Inside you there is a creativity that has to move inside one subject of your choice. That choice sometime was education. So you are not BA means you should only think about education in your life. Then you can be called as master of education after some time. That's what it is. Okay? So if no questions, inshallah. If you have some questions, probably answer. You know what happens? Yeah, I should have asked. The other day somebody came from Muzaffar. A boy who was not performing well. Then the husband and wife and the boy came. He said, sir, last year we had your number. When the radio talk came, I started writing. So he took 1 year to think whether to come to me or not. Yeah, I should have come. See, you should have called me. I did not know. Now I realize what went wrong. Now already the track is gone. Now what is to be done? Repair becomes very difficult. Somebody, I should have asked this question. Going back home, you will think, I should have asked this. Don't resist. You should ask at least a few questions. Did you forget that you forgot? Did you forget that you forgot? What did you forget? The one number you tell in that. Yeah. Yeah. Then repeat as many times as you can. 7 4 3 7. Yeah. Just go. Don't send a mail. You can send a mail. But DrTPS, WhatsApp is much better. This is my WhatsApp number. If you miss my number also, don't worry. You remember DrTPS, temperature, pressure second, top police service, thermal power station, Delhi police station.
Sir, is there any question in your head which is unanswered?
Which I have and nobody answered. See, I will tell you, every Indian people can answer every question in the world. You know why? First letter is A. When you sit in a class, A is enough to listen to somebody. When somebody asks question, second letter A. Sitting in a class, correct? A lot of questions which I cannot answer. Where are you from? Thrissur. Where are Thrissur? വടക്കുന്നാഥൻ ഞാൻ ഇരിങ്ങാലക്കുടിയാണ് വാര്യംലേരിലാണ് എൻ്റെ തൃശ്ശൂരിൽ തന്നെ പോകും. ഇരിങ്ങാലക്കുട വരെ പിടിച്ചു വെക്കണം. You look at the Danish principle, you will get all the 9 steps. It's a great tool. There are a lot of Danish principle. And there is another more, the styles of teaching. If you want to learn, you must read my book on adaptive learning. All these are download, PDF you can download. In which you have got the styles of teaching which you have now, like the e-learning. I teach children, I teachers how to make e-classrooms, the multimedia classrooms. You can make your class into a e-class and then use it permanently in your life. So I teach you how to make your class according to one and then put it into that. That's called adaptive learning, in which what we generally use is the styles of teaching. These are all main points which is required to learn when you are a good teacher. Okay? That will be apparent style, adaptive, deductive, inductive, discovery, all that has to be used. So the discovery style is in which most of the questions and answers, this what I did today, what did you learn? Tell me the points. All these are part of my style. These are all part of start with a bang, get their attention, check their knowledge, ask them to reproduce, quiz competitions on that, or questions to ask. All these are part of the 9 steps. Yeah. Anybody else? Finished? Yeah.
How you are expert in everything?
I am not expert, I am a part. That is part. When you become expert, I am not an expert, I am a generalist. I am ready to learn. So I have got a lot of children in different subjects. So they keep sending me the subject content. Just now we read one Niti. So she had sent me the syllabus. After that, I have to learn that and tell you, this is how you should learn this. With that I have learned that syllabus. And how many? I have got lakhs of children, no? Somebody calls me from Canada saying that I am a nursing student, I don't understand my pharmacology. Don't worry, huh? Send me the syllabus. Pharmacology is taught. So that's how I learned. I left my chemistry when after my 12th grade. Because after that mathematics you have to have statistics, maths and physics only. But then I was head of a photo lab in my office. I could have said I am not a chemistry person, I cannot run this. But I took that as an opportunity. Because then I can learn chemistry, practical chemistry. So I jumped into that and then as a space scientist, what is my job? Computer science. What do I do is computers. So anything on computer is in my hand. The other day I went to one of the company and he was developing ERP solutions. So I went to ISC to give a lecture on motivation for children and all that. One of the person was taking me to some company and he said ERP solution. I asked 100 questions to them. Which database you are using? Let's say SQL or computer science. He said, my subject is computer science, yeah. So you gave me computer science, I know. That's very simple. See, you have to jump into actions. Don't become lazy. Whenever you get an opportunity, jump into that. That's what you should do. Yeah.
Distinguished Principal Ma'am, Mrs. Girija Baiju, Vice Principal Sir, Mr. Nandu Kumar, Heads of the Department, Section Supervisors, and members of the staff. A very pleasant good afternoon to one and all present here. Well, it's a matter of proud privilege for me to be standing here to present a vote of thanks. On behalf of the entire school, I would like to convey my unhurried and sincere thanks to Dr. Shashi Kumar for enlightening us and transforming our lives through this insightful session, and also to the senior leaders of the school for giving us the opportunity to be a part of such a clear-sighted session. I am sure we all are greatly encouraged by your gracious presence and immensely benefited by your address. Although this session concluded within a span of 2 hours, but I am sure until we are under the same sky, we'll keep meeting. Thank you.